infection we call it old man coffee. So.
No, this is the very last meeting for this one.
Form, huh? That sounds good.
Where's everyone else?
Happy hour.
The raisins keeping them away.
Yeah.
Yeah, the tops of 2 trees that couldn't be removed. They were already in the water when it was.
Yes.
And yeah, so we couldn't retrieve them. That's the crux of it. So we did that this morning.
Right. Okay, and that's 30 pages.
This is a resolution.
Okay, right. Absolutely. Yes, exactly, exactly. Okay, thank you so much.
So good. Yeah.
All right, let's call this meeting to order. Stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Well, thank you, the 4 of you, for coming.
Everybody else home or? Maybe more room in the car.
Like I said, thank you for coming. I am Scott Jarvis, the Township Supervisor, and this is the board. We're here to go. We've got our bonding attorney present with us. His name is Eric McLaughlin from Dixon Wright, and
And what town is that, is your firm located in?
My office is in Troy, Michigan. Our headquarters is Detroit, but I'm in the Troy office.
Okay. And, what we have, he's prepared a resolution for us. And this is the meeting in which anybody wishing to protest, I mean, we've gone through all the meetings already. This has been a long process, and this board does apologize for that. We're kind of learning as we go too. This isn't something that we do daily. But the vast majority of the residents of Wind Lake Road have said, yes, let's do this project. So we kept moving forward, hired a bonding attorney, and is this our final step, or is there?
There'll be one more step related to the financing. This is the final step.
It's not going to be another public hearing, is it?
This is the final step for the special assessment proceedings.
Okay. And this is the meeting that anybody that, and I'm surprised that there wasn't more people.
We'll lock the door, make sure.
Okay, we got some folks coming in now.
They got stuck in the road.
We can't blame the road.
They couldn't get down the road.
Thank you for grading it, that's great. Well, these aren't protesters, we're good. Yeah.
But this is the meeting, and for the next 30 days, correct? The residents can protest this assessment. So, but we are going to, was the road so bad you couldn't make it on time or what?
No, it was raining. It was my fault. This wasn't my meeting, so I didn't need to be here.
Well, this was before we do open the public hearing, as you can see, there is nobody from the road commission present here at this meeting. They didn't need to be present at this meeting, but I did ask them, when this thing gets approved, when it's finally done, what's the time frame of getting the road work going? They put this out for bids last year, so the contractor is hired, just waiting for the final okay to do it. Then he's going to have to order driveway tubes. Then he will start the ditching, getting the slopes right in the ditches. Road commission will come in, the way I understand it, get the cross tubes placed. If that's 2 or 3 cross tubes, I don't remember. But the cross tubes will get placed, and obviously when the ditching's done, all the driveway tubes will be done that need to be replaced. And it looks like there's about 20 of the driveway tubes that will be being replaced. And they said that they don't see any reason why they wouldn't be going at it hard on this road at least by the middle of May. So that just gives you a little time frame on when the work would start. And once it's going, I can't believe it's going to be a super long time. This project's not going to take a real long time to do. But the way the work gets done, and before I open the public hearing, I hope I'm not speaking out of turn here with our bonding attorney, but with the driveway tubes, at least approximately 1 month after the completion of your project, of the road, we're going to get billed for the driveway tubes here at the township. The driveway tubes are not part of this special assessment district. So we would need payment for the driveway tubes within that month after the project is complete. And then, you know, we we've got a number that we sort of based everything on with an estimated number. We will, the public assessment district will be based on the actual number spent on the road itself. And I'm hoping things stay like any other project does for the road commission. That number will hopefully come in less than what is quoted. I pray that it will. That's just the way that it usually happens for us. I think they figure high on purpose a little bit just to cover their own tail. So, does any other board members have anything to add? Sam, would you at least comment on the publication?
Yep, so the publication was put in the paper. I have that date here.
Anybody else? At this time, I will open the public hearing, and I am going to turn, at least for now, this meeting over to our bonding attorney. Eric.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor, members of the board. Thanks for having me here tonight. Again, my name is Eric McLaughlin with Dickinson Wright, based in Oakland County. And I've been a member of the public finance group there for 12 years now, and before that, 6 or 7 years in other firm meetings there going on. But the purpose of the public hearing tonight is to receive and consider any objections to the special assessment roll that has been prepared by the supervisor. The meeting has been noticed in the Lapeer area view 2 times and mailed to record owners. So at this time, anybody would like to make objections to the roll or any other comments related to the special assessment district are also okay. But the purpose is the objection.
Okay, at this time, I would enter into the objections to the roll. We received a fax today from Gerald Kennedy, 896 Lynn Lake Road. They couldn't be here, and this is their written objection to the Wind Lakes Road Improvement Special Assessment District. So that just needs to be entered into there.
Yes, sir.
Is there any questions from residents?
What does the driveway do to run roughly?
They were, it appears to me that the most general driveway tube is going to be approximately $1,250. I see one property has 2 driveways. And just by a quick glance, it looks like that is the only property that has 2 driveways.
There should be 2.
Is there 2?
There are 2. Yeah, but it is right from the front.
Maybe 3.
No, it,
Could be 3.
Dale. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah.
This is a wood. Dale's.
well,
Greg's, yeah.
There's some, might be some that don't have to be replaced. Oh, they did myself, I didn't. Oh, okay.
I do see 1608 Peppermill has 2.
That's what they show.
I do see that 855 has 2. I do see that 936 has 2. And I do see that 948 has 2.
Well, pretty soon you thought there was 1 and now the neighborhood snitch.
Pardon me?
You thought there was 1 and now there's 3 other people. I'll be the neighborhood snitch. Well, you have a question on the.
State your name and address, please.
Yep, Tony Diodato, 915 Wood Lake, single driveway. But I do have asphalt over the tube, and I'm sure that's one they want to replace, because it's in pretty rough shape. Do I have to prep anything, saw cuts or anything, or they do all that?
I think that the only thing that you really need to worry about when the project starts is any personal effects that are out there at the end of your driveway to get them moved.
Mailbox?
No, they will take care of the mailbox removal and replacement.
Right. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it.
Okay. Yes.
Colette Breeze, 927 Lynn Lake. I'm curious, I'm one of the only people in the neighborhood still working that needs to get out every day. Are they going to let us know the day that they plan to do our culvert so that we can make arrangements to park our car elsewhere or those types of things?
I am sure you're gonna, and you will have plenty of time when we're out there getting started. You will, I'm sure, have conversation with those folks as well. So they have stated that there will never be a time when you can't enter and exit from your property.
Okay.
So that will all be, when they did your subdivision, there wasn't really too many issues there, was there?
No, we were always good enough, never had a problem. I was only one lane.
Well, and let's worry about the road as I am getting in and out of my driveway.
Yeah, well, do your driveway too, it only takes them a couple hours, so they can do that while you're gone.
Scott, Ravenfield, can say 55 Lynn Lake Road. I talked to Gabe last week and the end of last week, and he said that they will make sure that everybody has access and egress.
Right.
And if they're not going to have it for more than an hour, they will make an attempt to knock on the door or contact them. But there will be access and egress AM and PM every day. So,
And I don't know if the road commission will take care of that or the hired company that is doing the work itself. But that will not be an issue for you.
And then I had one more question. We have a very large tree in the ditch that will clearly interrupt the flow of water even after they replace the culverts. Will they be taking that out?
Is that something that you're hoping not happening?
Oh, no, it can go. I just want to make sure that they're going to be taking care of it because it's.
I don't, with the whole, when they started working on the pricing of that subdivision, they would have put in there the complete scope of the work.
Okay.
And what I'm looking at right now, it doesn't have anything to do with the ditching, so I don't know that answer. If that tree is right in the ditch, I've got to believe it's going to be cut down. Anything else weighing on your mind? Now, if Marty was here, there'd be more conversation.
oh, he sent me a list.
I better check my email.
I'm James Redmond, 805 Wind Lake. Did you guys come up with a bond period for 8 years, 6 years, 12 years?
Everything that I've heard in the resolution, it appears to me as a 15-year bond.
That is the working assumption that I'm operating on right now is that if the roll is confirmed and these special assessments are levied, there will be a prepayment period during which the assessments against each parcel can be paid without interest. After that period expires, then interest will start to accrue at 1% above the average interest rate on the bonds, which won't be known until we sign the financing paperwork. And then that principal and interest of the installments of special assessment will be due each year for 15 years in approximately equal amounts.
And when other special assessment districts that we've done, Nancy, I'm sure that people call you and they're selling their home and they want to pay off their special assessment at time of closing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you don't have to do it that way. It can transfer to the new owner. But then when that happens, they're saving interest too, aren't they? Are they paying interest all the way through the bond?
I mean, they pay, I just add up what payments are remaining, and that's basically what it is. So it includes interest. The only time you're going to avoid interest is the first initial payment.
That's it, if you want to pay it all up
Right.
front in the
Yeah.
time frame.
Yeah.
Yeah, once interest begins to accrue on the installments and special assessments, any installment can be prepaid, but you pay interest through the month in which you pay. So that's how the interest is calculated once you pass that initial prepayment period.
Is there an idea what that payment amount is at what point?
The special assessment will be, well, you can roughly divide it by 15, knowing that there's going to be interest added onto it. But that's roughly what principal part of the payment will be.
Right.
And then if the board chooses to confirm, once the public hearing is closed and the board considers the resolution, if the resolution is adopted confirming the role, that opens the 30-day appeal period, which is required under statute. And then once that period has expired, the township can complete the financing, sign the paperwork with the bank. At that point, the interest rate will be set. Under the statute, the township charges 1% above the average interest rate to be borne by the bonds at that point. And that's the amount of interest that will accrue to your particular portion of the special assessment over the term that the assessment is not paid.
So we'll know that once it's finalized, we'll have this is what it is, and then we'll be paid back.
Now, I guess that my comment might be that once this 30-day period has passed and we sign these papers that you talked about, I don't see any reason why at the next meeting of the board, if Randy wanted to come to the meeting or anybody, they're open to the public, I would think that number could be given out there so they know, doesn't it?
I think we can set it up that way so that the expected interest rate of the bond is known.
We have to wait until we get our final bills.
Right, I mean, even at that point, we're still working on the estimated number.
No, I understand.
But we don't know the actual number until the project's done.
I like spreadsheets, and I just like numbers.
There will be one more formal action of the board after tonight. So this has to do with completing the proceedings for establishing and levying the special assessments within the district. The next step the board will take will be to adopt a formal bond authorizing resolution, which exercises their statutory authority to authorize and issue a special assessment bond. So we'll adopt another resolution, and it'll set forth the terms of the financing, either specifically or general parameters within which the terms can be authorized. And I think Scott's previous question was about whether or not we can obtain the interest rate from the bank ahead in advance of that period closing and include that in the bond resolution. That is something that can draft into the bond resolution so that there is a number of those.
Okay.
And I trust that you're here to walk us through the rest of our steps.
Yep.
Okay.
So, and as soon as it's determined that there are no further comments on the special assessment roll, you can formally close the hearing on the roll and take up consideration of the
And that starts ticking tonight. Is there anything else that would like to be said or mentioned while the public hearing is over?
Randy Philpins, 855 Woodlake again. Got two quick questions. One is, this question, comment. One is, I know you've gotten a letter of protest or whatever it was called. How is that handled? And if at any time one of the properties is going to be decided that they would not have to pay a share, when would the rest of the residents know that? I'm just curious as to what that process is.
I don't know. You see, the Michigan Tax Tribunal is who takes care of that.
Okay.
And I've heard that getting in front of the tax tribunal is a much quicker process today than it was. You used to have a lot of people coming into the board of review, and that's who handles the board of review protests when they don't like the board of review's decision. And sometimes that was taking up to 3 years to get in front of the tax tribunal. I don't think that's the case today. I don't know what you know about the tax tribunal, how quickly things happen.
It is not that long for special assessment appeals, but it's
Is it a
not
different
quick.
board? Is it a different tax tribunal?
It's a different track that they have it on. It's not the 3-year timeline that you mentioned, but it's also not instantaneous either.
Okay, now just covering our bases on his question.
And I'm curious for a couple of reasons. One, I heard the dissent from the the one property on Wind Lake Road, and I know who that is because they just not done a lot of things, but that's, I'll go on record as saying that, and I'm fine with that. But there is another property that has, I believe, 2 separate parcels, but they will never be separated. And I believe they're listed separately on the ID numbers. But the septic field is on one parcel and his house is on the other. And I almost expected that they would come tonight and ask for a single assessment because that parcel I don't think could ever be split. And I didn't know how that would be handled. That was just part 2 of the question.
Well, they have the 30 days yet to come in to do that. And my question is going to be, I mean, am I responsible as an elected official to tell these folks how to get in front of the Michigan Tax Tribunal? Or, I mean,
No.
I don't know that.
No, you're not responsible for providing that legal advice. The notice of the hearing, the notice of tonight's hearing was provided as required by the statute, and that provides the instructions that are necessary to preserve a record owner's right to appeal.
Okay.
Part 2 of my comment was just thank you for getting this pushed through. I know it wasn't quick and it wasn't easy, but you stayed on it, and we appreciate that.
And just while the public hearing is open, we have not forgot about the other thing that has nothing to do with this.
That's a different matter. This was the important one. So, thank you.
We haven't brushed that under the carpet. So. You're just throwing new stuff at us all the time.
I'm done after this. You guys want done.
All right, is there anything else? Any other questions during the public hearing? Well, at 7:23, we will close the public hearing portion of this meeting. And now I will turn it back over to Eric.
Thank you. So the next item on the agenda for the board is to take up consideration of the resolution confirming the special assessment role. Now that you have a public hearing on the role, you can confirm the role as presented by the supervisor. You can revise it. You can annul it. Those are your options for the role. The resolution I prepared, however, confirms the role. So if that's what you'd like to do, then you can take a roll call vote on this resolution. This resolution finally establishes the amount that's levied and spread on the roll at $227,468.50, spread against 25 parcels in the district. As I mentioned earlier, if the roll is confirmed by adoption of this resolution, then there will be a 30-day appeal period for anybody that has preserved the right to appeal to the Michigan Tax Tribunal. The special assessment of any parcel can be prepaid until April 30th without interest. On May 1st, the interest starts to accrue, and it will start to accrue at 1% above the average interest rate on the bond that will be issued approximately earlier than May.
Question while you're going over this. The prepayment of the date of April 30th, is that set in stone or not? Because we're not going to know the final amount of this project by April 30th.
That's correct. You can change that date.
Does it have to change that tonight, or can this just be a floating date at time of completion?
You should, if you wish to provide for a prepayment period, you should put a certain date in there. But the fact that you don't know the final bill on the project is not, I'll say it's not a problem, and the reason that is because if the assessment proves to be more than the project cost by an amount that's less than 5%, then there's no refund that's given for that. But if the project cost is, if the assessment is greater than the project cost by 5% or more, then there will be, under the statute, there's a process for refunding any excess assessment that's paid. That refund is applied to the farthest, to the latest outstanding installment of the special assessment that has been paid. So you apply it in an inverse order. So you go to the last payment and pay it down. I mean, continuing towards your current time. And then if there's any money left over, then it would go to the general fund of the township. But that's if the assessment is greater than the project cost by 5% or more. If the project cost comes in more than is assessed tonight, then there's a reassessment process underneath or under the statute as well.
So I personally think that I would be comfortable with a June 30th, 2026 date on here.
Okay.
Does that sound reasonable to the treasurer?
Do you think it's gonna be middle of May, the end of May, the completion?
That's what I'm hoping.
Didn't you say we'll be starting in May?
Right.
Yeah.
How will we have a final number by then, if we're just starting?
Are you thinking June 30th is too early? Is that what I'm hearing?
Possibly.
Okay, well, I would like a different date here on this resolution.
I add another month, July.
July 30th, July 31st? I mean, if they're not gonna start the work till the middle of May, maybe.
No, I'm comfortable with that.
What about you, Sam?
And I think the road commission probably needs a little time just to come up with a final cost.
July 31st?
That's what I would say.
Okay.
So change the date on the resolution.
Mm-hmm.
And will you be providing us a clean copy of this, or just go ahead and scratch it out and initial it and be good with what we got?
I'll prepare a conforming copy of the resolution. When you're done with the discussion, then the motion would be to motion to approve the resolution as amended to provide for prepayment through July 31st with interest accruing beginning August 1st. And I'll make those changes and provide that copy to sanctification.
Does sound good to the board? All right, is there anything else you want to talk about with the resolution itself?
Not this time.
Well, I would entertain a motion to approve the resolution confirming special assessment role for Wind Lake Road Improvement Special Assessment District.
Should we look at the changes?
So moved with the change
With the changes of
to
the.
July 31st.
Right.
Interest effective August 1st.
Interest, yeah, starting August 1st.
And that in the number 6 there, where it says shall bear interest until paid from August 1st of 2026. That should be changed, yeah.
Correct.
With those two provisions.
I'll support.
All right, we have motion and support to approve the resolution confirming special assessment role in Wind Lake Road Improvement Special Assessment District with the changes in number 6 from April 30th to July 31st and from May 1st to August 1st with those changes. Is there any further discussion?
Just to clarify, the amendments that you're discussing apply to paragraphs 4, 5, and 6, not just 6.
Yeah, 4, 5, and 6, yeah.
Just for clarity,
Including 4, 5, and 6.
Yep,
and that's okay with you?
Yeah.
Who seconded the motion?
I did. Yeah, I wrote down all
Okay.
those and
Is there any further discussion? Samantha, would you hold the board?
Bill,
Yes.
Nancy,
yes.
Phil,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Sam, yes.
Resolution is approved or adopted.
We thought this was gonna be easy.
We do better.
All right, we've done number 5. We're back to public time. Anything that anybody would like to speak of? Anything on your mind? Appreciate you coming out. Really do.
Thank you. Really do appreciate
I
all
was
of it.
really expecting more people.
I was too.
You only do so much.
Sometimes you can fill the trough with water, and there's only so many people that are thirsty.
Yeah.
All right, Eric, thank you for attending, and we look forward to continued work with you on finishing this thing out for our new resolution that will be coming with the changes.
Yep, like I said, I'll provide a conforming copy of the resolution confirming the role, and then I'll also draft a formal bond authorizing resolution, which will authorize the issuance of bonds.
All right. All right, thank you, meeting adjourned.
Thank you for having
Yeah.